Lincoln Financial Field as week 10 of the season concludes in this now 3-year-old stadium. The NFC East looks like this. The Giants are 6-3. If the Cowboys win, they would own the tiebreaker. They've already beaten the Giants once this season, and they'll play them once more. Washington is now 5-4, and for Philadelphia, a big swing game tonight. Either they're going to be 5-4 and right in the thick of things, or they go to 4-5. And in effect, since they've already lost to the Dallas Cowboys, they would be the equivalent of 3 games back of the Cowboys with 7 to go.
You know, I said earlier that the Eagles are really going to miss Terrell Owens, and they're not going to be the same team. But having said that, I still think they can win.
The new Cowboy kicker, Sean Sweezum, who was signed a couple of weeks ago to replace the departed Jose Cortez, is now in Philadelphia, ironically. And this is Roderick Hood bringing the opening kickoff back to the 13-yard line, out to the 29-yard line. And that's where the Eagles and company set up. Donovan McNabb in the 5th week of the season when they met the Dallas Cowboys and were blown out. He was 13 of 26 and a rating of 64.8. It's his only game this season without a touchdown pass, and they were blown away. Cowboys struck early, blew him out. It was over by halftime and coasted to a 33-10 win.
Right, and Andy Reid told us yesterday our defensive line and our quarterback has to play better tonight.
And McNabb will go to the air, and the Eagles have gone to the air 71% of the time this season to Josh Parry for the completion. Here's the Philadelphia offense.
Donovan McNabb, Syracuse University.
Brian Westbrook, Villanova University.
Josh Perry, San Jose State.
Greg Lewis, University of Illinois.
Reggie Brown, Georgia.
L.J. Smith, Rutgers University.
Trey Thomas, LFCC.
Artis X, University of Memphis.
Jamal Jackson, Delaware State.
Sean Andrews, the Big Kid, Arkansas. John Runyon, Michigan.
Jamal Jackson, the new center. Hank Fraley is hurt on injured reserve and gone for the season. So a new snapper tonight. And McNabb's going to take off, and Donovan playing with that sports hernia, which he suffered on opening night in the Monday night game against Atlanta, and we'll get into that. And all of a sudden, you've got a scuffle here after the whistle, after McNabb was down, and it's the Eagles and the Cowboys. It only took 47 seconds.
Right, and there's a helmet laying about the 47-yard line.
And that helmet would belong to the Eagles' Reggie Brown, the rookie wide receiver, and Bill Parcells looks on fairly impassively.
You know, that's the thing as a coach, you try and fire them up and calm them down. You know, it's a big game, it's a rivalry game. Come on, we got to go out there and hit. Don't worry about anything, just go get them. But you know, play under control. I mean, play within yourself, play within the rules, do those kinds of things. And early in a game like this, anytime you get a big rivalry game like this, you usually will get a fight in the first couple of plays. I think this is what Donovan McNabb had to do. He goes 4 wide receivers. He looks, he has nothing there. They don't spy him the way they used to because of that sports hernia. He has to make some first downs like that. Uh-oh.
There was no flag, and now we mentioned the new center and the exchange. And this will be something that could or could not be an issue tonight, but something to watch, obviously, at the beginning, because Hank Fraley is the longtime center, but he was hurt in the Eagles game last week. Bill Carollo was the referee.
Illegal snap, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
The irony is the Cowboys have had the problems with snaps this year, and now it's the Eagles' turn.
This is Jamal Jackson, who never gets the ball up. He doesn't snap the ball. You see Donovan McNabb expects it. Jamal Jackson never even gets it up, and McNabb is getting out of there. That's the thing. I mean, when you're a center, I mean, you can forget some things, but one thing you can never forget is giving the quarterback the ball.
First and 15, and now you have another whistle before the snap. So we've already had a scuffle with no flag, then a flag on the illegal snap, and now another flag, and we played 1 minute and 19 seconds.
All start, 83, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Greg Lewis, and of course he'll step up a notch with Terrell Owens gone, at least for the moment, on the suspended list. You've got Greg Lewis, and you've got Billy McMullen and Reggie Brown as their 3 top receivers.
I think the guy that really has to step up as a big play guy is Brian Westbrook.
Westbrook, the running back, but they go to him a lot through the air, as they do here after they fake it to him on the ground. And he's out of bounds at the 40-yard line, 10 yards shy of the first down. Here's the Dallas D.
Marcus Spears, Louisiana State University.
Leroy Glover, San Diego State University.
Greg Ellis, North Carolina.
Scott Fujita, California.
Brady James, Louisiana State University.
Scott Shanley, Nebraska. DeMarcus Ware, Troy University.
Terrence Newman, Kansas State.
Roy Williams, the University of Oklahoma. Keith Davis, Samuelson State.
Aaron Glenn, Texas A&M.
And Aaron Glenn is going to start. He'd normally play in the nickel because Anthony Henry, who's their starting corner, one of their starting cornerbacks, is hurt. He was a game-time decision and is inactive tonight. And that's a pass that is caught over the middle by L.J. Smith, the tight end. There's a flag down back at the line of scrimmage. So that was a 2nd and 10. The gain for the moment is 17 yards pending the call here.
Offside, defense, 95. Lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. First down.
Jason Ferguson now the nose tackle, and the Cowboys revamp 3-4.
Look at this defense. They have 10 men up in the line of scrimmage. No one gets a hit at all on L.J. Smith. He gets a free release. McNabb sees it, gives him the ball perfectly, and L.J. makes a great one-handed catch.
Now draw to Westbrook. He goes through the middle to the 39. Westbrook is the key guy out of the backfield for them. 4th year, local guy. Played his college ball at Villanova. They really haven't had a rushing game this season. Philadelphia can't run the ball, but they can throw it to Westbrook with great effectiveness out of the backfield. Last year he led the league in receptions for a running back. This year he is 2nd in that category, so a dual threat.
Right, and they always try and get him in open space, screens, those types of plays.
Lamar Gordon comes into the moment to spell him, the backup back, and that's Gordon, the ex-Ram and Dolphin, who gets close to the 33-yard line, which is where he would have to go for the first down. They're going to mark it just a little short. We mentioned that the Eagles have been throwing the ball with abandon this year. No running game to speak of, and take a look at that. They throw the ball 71% of the time, run it 29. It's the most pass-oriented team through 8 games in the history of the National Football League.
Andy Reid calls the plays, and he doesn't really want that. He said he'd like to be 60-40 pass to run.
3rd and 1. They run it here, and they're going to get the first down as Lamar Gordon carries for the 2nd time and gets to the 31-yard line. And so the Eagles moving the chains on this opening drive.
Yeah, and they did a couple things on this opening drive that has to concern Bill Parcells right here. And I think the biggest one is Donovan McNabb putting the ball down and running. Because I think they've kind of eliminated that. Say he has that sports hernia, he doesn't have the movement. He's not going to run and throw, nor is he going to put the ball down and run.
At the 31-yard line. Play fake buys a lot of time, and then he goes to the tight end again, and that's L.J. Smith to the 25-yard line. Scott Fujita, former Kansas City Chief, came over at the dawn of the season. Makes the stop.
This is one of the things I was talking to Donovan McNabb the other day, and says he has trouble doing this. This is a bootleg. He comes out and throwing on the run. He said with that sports hernia thing, he has trouble torquing or moving and getting his body twisted to get in position to throw the ball.
He's played with it since opening night in Atlanta, and they give it to Gordon again. So Andy Reid getting Gordon into the game earlier than he's been in the past, putting Westbrook in and back and forth he comes, and Bryant comes back in as Gordon does the job again.
Yeah, and that's what he had to do, is get someone to do the inside running. Watch this guy right here, Sean Andrews. He just gets on his guy, and he is so big and strong, he just obliterates that side.
Gordon is 6'1", 223. They go back to Westbrook, and they give it to him, and he goes through the middle and takes the ball close to the 15-yard line. It will be 2nd down and 6 with 9.5 to go in the opening quarter.
Yeah, I was talking to Sean Andrews the other day at practice, and Andy Reid was out there, and after he left, he's one of the biggest guys I've ever seen. I said to Andy, what's he weighing? He said 380 pounds. And then he goes, no, he was 378 this morning. How do you like to play against a guy that comes out of the huddle and brings 378 pounds with him?
Second down and 5. McNabb has started the game 4 for 4. Westbrook inside the 10. Touchdown, Philadelphia. They send him in behind the right side. That's Andrews and Runyon. That's 15 yards. And that's the most runs on any drive for the Eagles all season. 7.
And you were right, Al. He goes right between Sean Andrews and John Runyon are right here on that right side. There's Andrews. He's the right guard. John Runyon, the big right tackle. And Westbrook just splits him. Good block by Runyon. He gets to Marcus Ware on the run and just runs him right to the outside.
David Akers came back to action last week after missing over a month with a hamstring, torn hamstring. And he boots the extra point. So the Eagles are able to withstand 2 penalties. They go 72 yards, 11 plays in a little more than 6 minutes. Hot start for Philly tonight. 7-0 Eagles. Monday Night Football being brought to you by Budweiser Select. Finally, bold taste meets a clean finish. Expect everything. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, one taste and you get it. Circuit City for the hottest new technology. Think Circuit City. Just what you needed. And Autotrader.com, the smarter way to buy and sell a car. Aerial coverage on this beautiful clear night. Brought to you by Budweiser Select. Philadelphia taking the opening kickoff. You had an illegal snap and a false start, but no problem. 72 yards ties their longest drive of the season. And as we say, unusual in the sense 7 runs and only 4 passes on the drive. And McNabb was 4 for those 4.
I think it was a very methodical drive, and I think Andy Reid, again, calling those plays, did a great job of mixing them up.
Jose Cortez, who was fired by the Cowboys 3 weeks ago, now kicks off for Philadelphia. And that's Tyson Thompson, the rookie from Irving, Texas, home of the Cowboys, who brings it back to the 28-yard line. So here comes Drew Bledsoe and the Dallas offense out onto the field for the first time in the game. If you see an unusually pained Bill Parcells tonight, he had to bury his brother today. His brother Don, about 20 months younger than Bill. Don was 62, dying of brain cancer, and the service was in Short Hills, New Jersey, about a 2-hour drive from here. Bill left Philadelphia at 7 this morning and got back at 3. As his team with Bledsoe starts with a pass out into the flat to Marion Barber, who's tackled there by Dhani Jones, playing a little air guitar. So he stops him behind the line of scrimmage. Bledsoe in that first game against the Eagles, 289 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Dallas did everything right.
Well, they had great field position, and the Eagles didn't sack Drew Bledsoe once.
Loss of 2 on the first offensive play. Second down and 12 now. And they're going to hand the ball off to Marion Barber, the third, the rookie out of Minnesota. No gain. Let's take a look at the Dallas starting offense.
Drew Bledsoe, Washington State.
Marion Barber III, University of Minnesota.
Musaka Polite, University of Pittsburgh.
Keyshawn Johnson, University of Southern California.
Terry Glenn, The Ohio State University.
Jason Witten, Tennessee.
Torrey Tucker, Southern Miss.
Larry Allen, Sonoma State.
Al Johnson, Wisconsin.
Marco Rivera, Penn State.
Rob Petiti, Pitt.
Rob Petiti, rookie right tackle, has started every game this season. It's 3rd down and 10, and that's Keyshawn Johnson going in motion from the 28-yard line. Bledsoe will go to the air. They'll swing it out here to Marion Barber, and he gets tackled at the 31. So after Philadelphia goes down the field for a touchdown, their defense comes in, and Dallas goes 3 and out quickly.
Dallas's formation is their favorite pass formation. On that 3rd down, it's 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and it's a way that they can get maximum protection by keeping one of the tight ends in addition to your offensive line.
You know how important the game is when Brian Westbrook is returning punts, and McBriar gets the kick away, and it's partially blocked, so McBriar went down, but there is no roughing the kicker. And it is Westbrook who gets tackled to the 39-yard line. So the heavy rush that time was by Billy McMullen, one of the wideouts, and he's able to get at least a piece of it. And with 6:51 to go in the period, Philly has the ball again and a 7-0 lead. ESPN Kansas City goes to Houston. Back we come to Philadelphia. Bledsoe and the Cowboys 3 and out. Now McNabb, who was 4 for 4 on the opening drive, will go to the air. And his 5th pass is also a completion for a gain of 4 to Brian Westbrook. And let's go to Sam Ryan.
Well, Al, you've been talking about the sports hernia that Donovan McNabb has been playing through. So what is the difference between a traditional hernia and a sports hernia? Traditional hernia, that's a bulge due to the a protruding internal organ. Now with a sports hernia, it's actually a tear of the muscle at the pubic bone. Donovan told us after the season that will require surgery. A mesh screen will attach the bone to the muscle. He said, this is something I'm not looking forward to. I've never had surgery in my life. Al?
And it's amazing to me, Sam, and we saw it happen on opening night, that he's been able to play through this for 2 months now. And this is Westbrook swinging to the outside, and that's a loss of a couple. So we saw it in Atlanta on the 12th night of September, John. And, you know, I guess it's getting a little bit better, but it's amazing to me that he's been able to be as proficient as he has been.
Well, you know, it just takes a lot of loosening up, and he says sometimes, you know, and he doesn't know when it's going to be, but it'll be very loose and it feels pretty good, and he can move and do a lot of things. And then sometimes he said it just tightens up. That whole core area just tightens up, and the day after the game was very, very difficult for him because he swells up.
3rd down and 8 from the 42. And it's a whole process, as John Runyon was the guy who will be flagged here for the false start.
False start, 69, offense. 5-yard penalty.
McNabb, it's a whole process through the day. As you take a look at his first 4 games this season, where he had 11 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. However, over the last 4 games, you can see the diminishing returns there, 5 and 5 TDs and interceptions, and of course those include the last 2 games losses at Denver and at Washington. 3rd and 13, they run a draw, and Westbrook will get back to the 43-yard line. It'll be 4th down and 7, and in comes the punting unit.
And I think the Cowboys, you know, as you said, with all the TO stuff and everything, the Cowboys kind of sneak in here, but I think they sneaked into a hornet's nest.
And
I think the Eagles are going to give them a lot more than they thought they were going to get from this group tonight.
Reggie Johnson, the rookie, and the flag is thrown because a fair catch was called for, and it was interference with that fair catch, as Hodges, the kicker, sent it down to about the 14-yard line, so the obvious flag comes in. And Bill Carolla will give us the call.
Looked like Roderick Hood just came down there and stuck his arm in there and did interfere with the fair catch.
And the question is, was there a signal for the fair catch?
Well, he still has a right to catch it. You don't have to.
On the kicking team, number 37, 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, 1st down.
Right, even if you don't, you at least have to be given the opportunity to field it. That was Peerless Price coming over and denied that opportunity. Thus the penalty, Dallas ball. You can see how one-sided that first meeting between these 2 teams was this season. In that game, Philadelphia could never get even decent field position early in the game. Dallas led 27-3 at the half. Game over. Posted home 33-10. Now the Cowboys, after a 3-and-out first possession, begin their second possession at the 28-yard line, with Bledsoe going to the outside, and Keyshawn Johnson's going to make the catch, and that's going to be a gain of 11 with Brian Dawkins covering on the play. And Bill Parcells talking about it last night, John. He wants to work the outside against the Eagles, both on the ground and in the air.
Right. He wants to make these corners play. We're talking to Drew Bledsoe last night, and he said, one thing I had to learn with Keyshawn Johnson is to throw him the ball when he's covered. That time, he was covered. And Lito Shepherd was on him tight, but Drew Bledsoe still threw him the ball. He said that's what he's learned playing with Keyshawn Johnson.
And Johnson having a good year as Marion Barber gets knocked down in the backfield by Michael Lewis, the safety. And let's take a look at that Philly D.
Darwin Walker, University of Tennessee.
The Tank, the Northern Illinois University.
Sam Rayburn, Tulsa.
Javon Curse, Florida Gators. Mr. Jones, 0055, 1817, Michigan.
Jeremiah Trotter, Stephen F. Austin State.
Keith Adams, Clemson.
Lito Shepard, University of Florida.
Michael Lewis, Colorado.
Brian Dawkins, Clemson.
Sheldon Brown, South Carolina.
Sheldon Brown really having a good season. The only guy out of their backfield who wasn't a Pro Bowl starter last year out of their secondary, and it's Barber again. Marion Barber is the son of Marion Barber Jr., who played with the Jets in the mid-'80s. Julius Jones, who was their starting back and hurt his ankle in the Philadelphia game, is back tonight, but Barber still gets the start.
You know, the other guy that they want to work on was the defensive ends. Bill Parcells says, I want to make the defensive ends play. In other words, run at them, and I want to make the corners have to play.
Work the edges. 3rd down and 10. You see Jones awaiting his turn. Bledsoe on 3rd and 10. He's going to go deep down the middle, and he's got an open, peerless Price inside the 10, and Price fumbles out of bounds. It'll be Dallas ball, 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. So over the middle goes Peerless Price, who came over earlier this year from Atlanta. He had played at Buffalo with Bledsoe. He was a bust with the Falcons. Bill Parcells brings him in as the number 3 guy. Big play here.
Well, look, it's a zone blitz. They come from the left side there, but what a clean pocket that Drew Bledsoe has. Then he can set his feet and step up and then find this. It was a zone defense, and he just runs right by the zone defense. I mean, Peerless Price got in there to the post, and you can't let that happen when you got a free safety sitting in there.
1st and goal. That's his 4th catch as a Cowboy. And this is Barber barreling his way to the 2-yard line, where he's stopped by Semino. So a 58-yard completion on a 3rd down and 10.
You know, and the Cowboys got what they said that they had to. You have to protect Drew Bledsoe, and he can still make all the throws. Now, the Eagles didn't get what they said. We have to knock Bledsoe down. We have to get to him. We have to pressure him. We have to pressure him up the middle. They didn't do any of those things.
Marcus Spears is the fullback, so the rookie defensive lineman lines up offset as the fullback on 2nd down and goal, and they're going to toss it to Barber, and Barber slips, gets up, and then gets to the 1-yard line. So he was going to go behind Spears, and Parcells' club now has a 3rd down and goal.
Yeah, Spears got a pretty good block on that, and Barber just slipped. As you see him, he goes here. They're going to go to the left. There's Spears right there. That's a pretty good block. That guy sees him coming and says, I don't want any defensive lineman blocking me. And then Barber, when he goes to make that cut, he just slips.
Marcus Spears listed at 294. There he is on 3rd down and goal. Run the same play to the other side, and he gets in for the touchdown. So the 58-yard pass to Peerless Price sets up 3 runs, and they get into the end zone. Price makes the big play. Barber takes it in, and they're an extra point away from tying the game.
Yeah, Marcus Spears gets a kick-out block. Watch, they're going to pull Marco Rivera. They have a tight end here, a big defensive end here. He pulls there. That is real power on that right side. I mean, they get there, good kick-out. Marco Rivera leaves. He just leaves him and cuts inside him.
Spears took Quentin Michael out of the play. Now the new kicker, Sean Sweezum, for the extra point. Grew up in Canada, played his college ball at Bowling Green. He bangs it through, and with 55 ticks remaining in the opening period, we're tied at 7 in Philadelphia. The Cowboys go 72 yards, 58 of those coming on the 1 play. Bledsoe to Peerless Price, 55 seconds remaining in the opening period. 7-7, exciting start at Lincoln Financial Field tonight as Sweezum, who played in this stadium last year with Bowling Green against Temple. He scored 70 points, and he kicked 10 extra points here. To the 3-yard line, Roderick Hood runs it back past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Of course, the story with a flag down at the end of the play here the overwhelming, the all-consuming story in Philadelphia, not just recently, but all season and part of the offseason, dealing with Terrell Owens. Here's Carollo's call.
During the return, illegal block in the back, 37, return team, 10-yard penalty.
Sean Considine. So we'll come in and out of the story. A lot of moving parts to this story. Tonight's game is the second of a 4-game suspension. The Eagles' position is that after the suspension, he will be deactivated for every game. So he gets paid, but he won't play. Owens is seeking to play this year with the Eagles or elsewhere. Next up, Friday, here in the morning at the Eagles facility, an arbitration hearing. Since the union, the players' union, has filed a grievance, the arbitrator is Richard Block. And this is Westbrook for a gain of 4. So a number of things could happen. The arbitrator could uphold the suspension. He could reduce the suspension, as you look at the Eagles owner, Jeffrey Lurie. He could terminate the suspension. The whole league is going to watch to see what happens here. And then what? What if he terminates the suspension? I mean, I can't imagine, John, that Terrell Owens will ever play another game in a Philadelphia uniform.
No, I can't either. I mean, I don't think that's one of the alternatives. I mean, I know Andy Reid, and I know the way he thinks, and enough is enough, and he's not going to change his principles. And Terrell Owens may play someplace else this year, but it won't be with the Eagles.
And that pass is incomplete, and Owens tonight is back home in Atlanta, lives in Georgia, obviously watching the game on television. But the hearing is to be held here on Friday. The question is, will they rule on Friday, or will it take another couple of days? I know the union position is going to be they want him to be back on the list. Again, it doesn't mean he's active, and be eligible to play against the Giants next Sunday.
And you know what I think the most important thing for Andy is to let someone else handle it from here on in. I mean, they're not getting press conference. Well, today they had a grievance, and he has to worry about game plans, getting his team that is out there ready to play.
And the final straw for the Eagles was that he was critical again of Donovan McNabb, and that pass is incomplete, and that will be the end of the quarter on a pass intended for the rookie Reggie Brown, who's going to see a lot of action now in the absence of Owens. It's the end of the period. The game is tied 7-7. And Monday Night Football will resume after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Back to Philadelphia. Al Michaels, John Madden, Sam Ryan, as we wrap up another week of NFL action with a beauty, the Cowboys and the Eagles. Great NFC East rivalry. Very important game. Playoff atmosphere. 7-7 as we start the second quarter with a Philadelphia punt. Reggie Hodges to the 39-yard line. Fair caught there by Peerless Price after a 45-yard boot. Drew Bledsoe, first year with Dallas after New England and then 3 in Buffalo. Take a look at his first 8 games this season. That's the highest pass rating in the conference. Over the previous 12 seasons, you can see the difference right there. His average yards per pass just 6.6 in his career and 8.3. Big difference this year. And as John said at the top, a major factor in the Cowboys' success to this point.
Yeah, and it's all about protection, and Bill Parcells really understands protection. He feels if he can give him time, he can throw against anyone in this league.
Julius Jones back for the first time in 3.5 weeks. And that's Julius Jones, who was hurt so much of last year, and then when he got healthy after the fractured shoulder, he'd recuperated from that. He became their workhorse and had a tremendous Monday night game. You'll recall last December against Seattle. It's an 8-yard pickup here.
It was interesting. The Eagles were in a nickel defense, 5 defensive backs, and that's what you want to run at. So you pull Larry Allen and you let him kick out, get Julius Jones in there, and that's a good hole for his first carry. And he will run outside a little more than Marion Barber.
He was a second-round draft choice out of Notre Dame and goes nowhere. Runs right through the middle and runs right into Jeremiah Trotter. Trotter playing on Monday Night Football for the first time this season. You recall on opening night, he's the guy that got into the fight with Kevin Mathis in Atlanta and got thrown out before the game.
Yeah, and he's playing as well as he's played in years. He looks like to me that he's less weight. I mean, here you see he's 262 pounds. I would say he's more like 245 now. He's moving a lot better, and Jim Johnson, the defensive coordinator, saying that he's playing his best football right now in 4 or 5 years.
That was a big loss for him against Atlanta that night because the Falcons won the game by only 4. 3rd and 3, and Bledsoe goes to the outside and hits the tight end Jason Witten, who went to the Pro Bowl last year, and there's a flag down at the 36-yard line of the Eagles.
And I know one thing, we were just talking about Jim Johnson, I know one thing he's going to do is start blitzing more because he hates to see Drew Bledsoe have this much time.
54, defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
That was Trotter. It doesn't matter. It's a first down.
You know, one of the things they want to do is take away Jason Witten, the tight end, and they know that they have to be physical with him, so they put one linebacker on him, and then they bring Trotter over to that side, and I don't know. I don't think that was very physical. I don't think that was physical enough to get a penalty.
Nope. They're going to run the end around here, and it's smelled out perfectly as Terry Glenn gets taken down by the freak, Javon Curse. Big play for Curse, and it results in a 10-yard loss.
It was that 3 tight end, 1 wide receiver, 1 running back that Bill Parcells was saying that they're going to use a lot on first down. You see they have their tight ends over on the left to get the power, and then they try, you know, and trick them there and run the end around. And as you say, Curse just gets upfield. I mean, everything went to the left. Curse didn't go for it. He just waited for that end around.
Curse went by Rob Petitti like Petitti wasn't even there. 2nd down and 20. And that's underneath, and Witten will make the catch, and he picks up a few yards as Mark Cimino makes the tackle. They'll go to the 43-yard line. Over the past few years, and remember, the Eagles have been to the NFC Championship game 4 straight years, went to the Super Bowl last year, and a lot of it had to do with that defense and Jim Johnson. So overall, John, what's the problem this year? They're vulnerable to things they weren't vulnerable in the past, including the long pass.
Well, I think everyone is expecting blitz now. So instead of thinking that they're not going to blitz and then try and adjust to it, you set your offense up, they're going to blitz every time. Then if they don't, you get a plus. But they're ready to protect and block the blitz like they're going to right here.
3rd and 13. They get to Bledsoe, but he gets the pass away, and it floats, and it's incomplete. Floating pass. Terry Glenn, the intended receiver, but not even close. We talked about the vulnerability to the long pass. Take a look at this. The Eagles, and you go back to last year when against the long pass they were extremely tough. But this year, the opposing quarterbacks with a 101.5 rating, including tonight's long pass to Peerless Price.
If you're blitz, you're going to play a lot of man-to-man, so your blitz better get there.
Matt McBriar's punt, fair caught by Reno Mahe, and McNabb and his group will take over at the 16. 11.5 to go in the half. 7-7. Drew Bledsoe and the Dallas Cowboys come to town to take on Donovan McNabb and the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football. Lincoln Financial Field, 3rd year of its existence. Bottom left of the screen, the Philadelphia Phillies ballpark, the sports complex in South Philly, where the Flyers and the 76ers also play next door, Wachovia Center. At the 16-yard line, the Eagles start this drive with a pass that's caught for an 8-yard gain by the tight end, L.J. Smith, who comes back from a concussion last week. Brady James makes the tackle. And 2 years ago when Parcells took over in Dallas, John, they had a great defense. Last year they leaked a little bit, but they seem to have everything back right now, including a couple of real good-looking rookies.
Right, and he changed the defense from a 4-man line to a 3-man line. The defense that he inherited when he came to the Cowboys was not a Bill Parcells defense. Last year wasn't. This year is a Bill Parcells defense.
And that got DeMarcus Ware. He's got a fumble here. The ball is loose at the 23-yard line. Chris Canty was able to shoot through and create it, but they'll keep possession, will the Eagles.
You know, and the thing today is a Parcells defense, again, is a 3-man line with a good outside, weak side linebacker like a DeMarcus Ware. And the thing today, he gets a lot of young guys in there, and you not only have to coach them, but you have to coach them quickly. And then when you do, towards the middle of the season now, these guys have been playing for half a year. And I'm talking about, a Chris Canton, a DeMarcus Ware, and, all these, Kenyon Coleman, all Marcus Spears, all these young guys are now getting to be experienced guys.
With an empty backfield, McNabb has a lot of time, and it is caught by L.J. Smith. So they send everybody wide, which sometimes means that the quarterback is vulnerable. They can get to him quickly, but that time McNabb got protected well. 15-yard gain.
And that's a big thing. You see the extra rusher here, a four-man like type of line when DeMarcus Ware is the outside guy there. But look at the pocket. When you can step up like that, just take those outside rushers, make them go to the outside. The quarterback has a clean pocket inside. He can make those plays.
From the 38, McNabb, who has still not completed a pass to a wide receiver and won't hear either, intended for the tight end Chad Lewis. The passes tonight have gone to Smith, Westbrook, and Parry. None of them wideouts. DeMarcus Ware, first round out of Troy, made a big splash in preseason. Has done well during the regular year. There's Marcus Spears, also in the first. And Chris Canty comes out of the University of Virginia, picked him up in the fourth, and he's off to a good career start.
And as I was saying earlier, he started playing those guys like DeMarcus Ware here. He started him right in the preseason. But here's a guy you say that he's a rookie, but he's already played 12 NFL games, including preseason.
Trey Thomas.
Ball start, 72, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Already in the game, Philadelphia has now committed a total of 6 penalties of 45 yards, and the Cowboys, who are coming off a complete game against Arizona 2 weeks ago before their bye, without a penalty, they don't have one tonight either.
And I think a lot of these penalties, you can see that the Eagles are having are those false start types of things, and you're going to have that with a new center. I don't think you can blame everything on a new center who's just off the practice squad, but I'll tell you, you don't realize how important a guy like old Hank Fraley is until old Hank Fraley isn't there anymore, and you have Jamal Jackson in there.
Jamal Jackson, second year out of Delaware State, elevated from the practice squad, 2nd and 15. McNabb, he's going to throw that over the middle. As I said, he still hasn't completed one to a wideout. Donovan has completed 7 passes tonight. 4 to his tight end Smith, 2 to the running back Westbrook, 1 to the fullback Parry.
Well, the last time we did a Philadelphia Eagle game, Andy Reid showed us his play call card, and he had a bunch of plays on that front page there for T.O. And now I said, well, what do you do? Who gets those plays? And he says, well, Westbrook, who was on the back page, now comes to the front page, and L.J. Smith also has a list.
3rd down and 15. Great protection. That's caught by Westbrook. But Dallas will give him the underneath stuff on a 3rd and 15. It's now 4th down and 8. With Owens not here, you take a look at McNabb and Owens. They played 21 games over the last year and a half. 123 receptions, so about 6 a game, almost 2,000 yards, and almost a touchdown per game. So that's what they miss.
And then that affects the defenses too. You defend the Philadelphia Eagles tonight a lot different than you defend them when T.O. was out there.
Reggie Hodges with a short kick fielded at the 26-yard line, and that's Price avoiding a couple of tackles and then tackled at the 27-yard line. McNabb has started 8 for 12. Bledsoe has started 6 out of 7. Drew and the Cowboys go back to work. 8.5 to go in the half. 7-7. We talked earlier about the death last week of Bill Parcells' younger brother, Don, who was a very successful banker, lived in New Jersey. He played for Army. He played, in fact, he would have played right on this ground because this is where the old Municipal Stadium, JFK Stadium was. That was torn down to make room for this. And as we said, for Bill, left at 7 o'clock, got back at 3 o'clock today to go to the service in Short Hills, New Jersey, about a 2-hour drive from here as Bledsoe goes to the outside. I think about Parcells, John. Bill he's been great at compartmentalizing his life. But on a day like today, I mean, you can see it in his eyes and in his face.
Yeah, and you can't put that in any compartment. I mean, that is something that, you know, the death of your younger brother, and he was real special to him. I mean, anytime I ever talked to Bill about his brother, he was so proud of him and so proud of the fact that, you know, that he went to West Point, graduated West Point, played there, and you know, I mean, that was a base and a foundation that he was always proud that Bill was a part of.
We've been watching Bill for a lot of years on Monday night, and it's, well, you know, you just read it in his face, and of course you would on a night like that. The service today, and
you know, I've been through you know 3 deaths with him. I remember his first year as a Giant. He lost both his mother and father in the same year.
And most recently, he was very close, obviously, to Wellington Marin for that funeral. And that was very emotional for him. Marion Barber, with a flag down on a 3rd down and 3, gets taken down by Sheldon Brown. Again, Dallas has not been penalized tonight. This one is going to go against Dallas, but it's going to be declined.
Holding, number 73, offense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, 4th down.
So officially, they still haven't been penalized. But that's Larry Allen.
Don't you feel that both of these teams kind of came out and they were fired up and they went down the field and the other team went down the field and they kind of put it in neutral, and both offenses, I feel, have gotten very conservative.
12-round fight, good action in the beginning, and now we're kind of, you know, in about the 4th or 5th round, it's settled down. The punt fielded at the 25-yard line, and that's Brian Westbrook running back to McBriar, punt to the 32. We have exactly 7 minutes to go in the opening half, in a big one in the city of brotherly love. Dallas 7, Philadelphia 7. Back to Philadelphia, to Lincoln Financial Field, 7-7, 7 minutes to go in the opening half.
The Cowboys have their second defensive line in there. They alternate them just about every series. They have Coleman at left end, Jason Ferguson at nose tackle, and Chris Canty at right end.
1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Parcells tries to keep them fresh. And taking the ball up to the 36-yard line will be Brian Westbrook. Westbrook tonight has now carried the ball a total of 7 times for 35 yards.
You know, and I think that, you know, want to stay with the run, want to go to the run, as someone said, it's relative. You know, you're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles running the ball, and if Westbrook were to run it, it would be 12 to 15 times. I mean, he's not one of those guys that's going to run the ball 25 times in a game.
Ultimate balance right now is you've got a fumble snap. Until that play, you had 12 runs, 12 passes. So earlier you had an illegal snap. Again, the new center replacing Fraley in Jamal Jackson, and this time it's McNabb who has to cover up.
Yeah, the first one McNabb pulled out early, and the ball wasn't snapped. That time it looked like it didn't get up. I mean, you put the right hand underneath, and the ball has to be slapped up into the right hand. The ball never got up to McNabb's right hand. You see, it was down low, and it was in between his right and his left hand.
3rd and 8 from the 34-yard line, and McNabb will sling it to the outside, and that's going to be a probable first down. That's Reggie Brown. He's the rookie out of Georgia. That would be the first catch tonight by a wide receiver. So it takes the Eagles almost 25 minutes to hit a wideout.
Donovan McNabb was saying that Reggie Brown, you know, everything is just whirling in his mind. Here he is a starter. He's playing a flanker. He took Terrell Owens' position, but he said all the things that they asked that position to do, he said there's no way that Reggie Brown knows it right now.
From the 43, Brown was a 2nd-round pick from the Georgia Bulldogs. And McNabb doing far less running this year to the 46-yard line. Let's check in with Sam.
You are talking about Reggie Brown. He told me he's paying a lot closer attention now. He told me every once in a while when he walks out of the huddle, has to think about the play that was just called. He said a lot of the plays are there like second nature, but some of them, the wheels are turning. He does have to think about that. He said he knows the rest will come. Al and John chalk it up to being a rookie.
Well, last week, good splash in his first start. He caught 5 passes for 94 yards against the Redskins. including a 56-yard touchdown.
You know, and this is a form of the old West Coast offense, and the flanker is the guy that always gets the ball. He's the flanker.
Screen set up. Westbrook makes the catch, gets the first down. Into Dallas territory he goes. At the 46-yard line, Brady James makes the stop.
And that's one of the things the Eagles wanted to do more of, is run more screens, and they get a couple things with that. I mean, they run a screen, they get the ball on the perimeter to Westbrook, they get the ball in Westbrook's hand, who's right now is their biggest playmaker.
Westbrook has handled the ball 11 times tonight, 7 runs, 4 catches. He's been in and out. They spell him with Lamar Gordon. And the aforementioned one, Mr. Gordon, takes this to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, I think they have a pretty good combination here with Lamar Gordon. What they're doing is trying to get Westbrook, you know, outside, spread him out, get him on the perimeter. Then they bring Lamar Gordon in, you know, and pound with the inside run.
And the Eagles, 71% of the time they pass the ball, but tonight the balance that every coach talks about.
Well, you know, part of getting that balance is you have to be ahead, or you have to be, you know, close in the score. If the dish starts to run away with a spoon, then it's tough to, you know, to stay running the ball.
Second down and 4 to the outside he goes, and that is dropped. That is incomplete as Reggie Brown gets hit by Terrence Newman as the ball arrives. Percentage of running plays in the league as a whole this season, 45%. So you pass 55% of the time, but the Eagles, the lowest in the league. The highest would be Pittsburgh, and that would figure with Fast Willie and Jerome Bettis in the gang at 59%.
Yeah, without Ben Roethlisberger, that's even going to go up more.
Third down and 4. The ball is at the 40-yard line. 3:18 to go in the half. McNabb, that straight drop back, and then he fires it off the hands of Reno Mahe, who come out of the backfield.
That's what Reno Mahe is in there for. You know, we see Lamar Gordon go in there, and he's a running back, and you know, he'll run the ball inside. Then they put Reno Mahe in as a running back, and he's a receiver out of the backfield.
Reggie Hodges signed last week to replace Dirk Johnson, who went on injured reserve. Did a flag that was thrown at the 39-yard line.
Start, 57, offense, 5-yard penalty.
Doesn't matter much when you're kicking from this area. Keith Adams was the guy with the false start that'll move it back to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, Mahe does a lot of the same things that Westbrook does. You know, I mean, it's not always out of the backfield. I mean, they'll put him in a slot, they'll put him out wide, all different positions on passing downs.
An end over end duck with backspin on it, of all things.
In an area where you don't want backspin.
No, you don't want any backspin there. Bad kick. They're going to mark it at the 24-yard line. A 22-yard punt. 3 minutes to the half. Game time. Anything can happen in the NFC North. Bears lead it, but the Vikings are still in it. They'll meet the Packers at Lambeau on Monday Night Football next week. Chiefs-Texans, the Sunday game on ESPN. Philadelphia. Beautiful night. Temperature of game time was 54. First and 10. Dallas has it at the 23-yard line. Bledsoe's 8 out of 9 from 95 yards. And that's incomplete. A second incomplete pass of the night. And a flag is thrown. Terry Glenn went down. And a flag at the 35-yard line. Indicated against the Eagles.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact. 26, defense, 5-yard penalty on that first down.
That's Lito Shepherd. Went to the Pro Bowl last year, but they've been picking on him this season.
Right, and he's not having the same type of season. You know, once a corner, you know, loses a little confidence, a lot of strange things happen to him, and you're going to see him out here again. You can't touch him after the 5 yards, and that's exactly what it is. You know, he jammed him on the line, and then he rode him back, and then he touched him beyond the 5 yards.
8 penalties against the Eagles, none against the Cowboys, and that's picked off. Bledsoe was under pressure, and there's Lito Shepherd. The opportunist, Lito Shepherd, takes it to the 14-yard line. Jeremiah Trotter got to Bledsoe as he released it. Big play for Philadelphia as they try to cash in now.
Yeah, man, that's exactly what the Philadelphia Eagles said that they had to do to Bledsoe. That's what Jeremiah Trotter said that he had to do. He said we have to get pressure on Bledsoe, and we have to get it straight up the middle so that he doesn't get comfortable, he doesn't set his feet, and he can't step up. Watch Trotter come straight up the middle. Bledsoe doesn't set his feet, just throws it away, and it's intercepted. That's the pressure that the Eagles have been looking for all night. In fact, in the last...
Shepherd's third pick of the season. McNabb now goes to work from the 19-yard line with 2:51 to the half. Westbrook. Nice looking hole there, and he picks up 7. Getting into the 12-yard line, spilled by Terrence Newman, 2nd and 3.
Isn't that something when a guy who's a heck of an athlete like a Westbrook makes those moves and has that patience and can just wait for a block and see a defender overreact and cut back against it? That's awfully good looking.
71 yards from scrimmage for Westbrook tonight. Gordon comes back into the game. Gordon seeing a lot of action. 2nd down and 3. Gordon's carried 5 times for 18 yards. Here's his 6th carry. And he has a first down. It'll be 1st and goal at the 6-yard line, and the Eagles will let it tick down to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in the opening half. Eagles threaten. Dallas 7. Philadelphia 7. I like it. I love it. Tim McGraw putting lyrics to that song. Week 10 highlights coming up on the halftime show. 60 seconds with Jimmy Kimmel. Also at the half. 2 minutes remaining. It's 1st down and goal. Philadelphia at the 6-yard line. Talked before about the Cowboys allowing only 1 touchdown in each of the last 5 games. They've given up 1 already tonight and in jeopardy of yielding another here. Here's Westbrook. To the outside he goes, and then he's taken down, flags all over the place as DeMarcus Ware spins away to make the stop.
That was a heck of a play by DeMarcus Ware. I mean, Westbrook, when he gets inside and then bounces to the outside, he's going to outrun most defensive linemen on the line of scrimmage. DeMarcus Ware took on that block, played off, and went right down the line.
Face mask call.
Face mask. 94. Defense. After this is the goal. Automatic first down.
So that's Ware, and that's going to be the first assessed penalty against the Cowboys tonight.
Look at the play. You see how he comes straight down the line. Of course, at the end, you can't grab that face mask, but that's where he got him. But the thing you want to do is take on that block, get your outside shoulder free right there, and then go right down the line of scrimmage. That would have been a perfect play had that right hand not gone to the face mask.
Cowboys played almost a full game and a half without an assessed penalty. Their last game penalty free against Arizona. Josh Parry's the fullback. Gordon is the running back. The fake to him. McNabb's going to swing to the outside. To the end zone, goes down in for the touchdown. Sports hernia notwithstanding.
Didn't bother his dance, did it?
Nope.
And that's what they need from Donovan McNabb. They get down there, they go play action pass. The Cowboys had the play action pass covered. McNabb just kept going and going, and then he saw that he had a free right end.
He couldn't wait to do that dance. It's his first rushing touchdown since the week after Thanksgiving last year.
And he's had a couple of rushes tonight that, to me, are very big.
David Akers for the extra point.
I think you give this touchdown to Jeremiah Trotter.
Absolutely. Forced Bledsoe into the interception by Shepherd. Set him up at the 19. Donovan's mom looking on. And the Philadelphia Eagles lead 14-7.
He has the fullback in there. He goes play action. Then he's going to roll out to the right. There's no one open, so he does the thing. He keeps rolling, looking, and then he sees no one in front of him, so he just runs it right in. But he's still looking for a receiver, and then maybe that's what kept the defenders away from him. He had that win in a bind there where he had to decide, do you come up and get McNabb or do you stay back and cover? He stayed back and covered. Well, Mom doesn't know whether to celebrate or cough. He got choked up on that one a little. And Donovan's, that whole core, that whole groin area, that hip flexor, all that stuff that tightens up on him looked pretty loose during that dance, didn't it?
Well, Andy Reid was saying he loosened up last week. I mean, as he goes along, it's 2 months now. And he goes through this whole process during the day where he gets into the pool on an aqua treadmill. They work on him a good part of the day, and he comes out here and he throws a lot before the game. And he is loose tonight as Jose Cortez kicks off to the 7-yard line. Tyson Thompson runs it back to the 34-yard line, and Donovan talks about playing with that injury.
I've been able to kind of get back to moving around, rotating the hips, rotating the shoulders. But at times, it limits you in doing that. Rolling out of the pocket and being able to get across your body like you used to, get a burst and maybe scrambling or getting upfield somehow, being able to react to pressure quickly.
Well, Sam mentioned before, I mean, it may be getting better, but he will still have to undergo surgery at the end of the season.
Right, and I think sometimes it just tightens up and sometimes it's a little looser, but tonight all those things that he said are tough to do, he's done in this first half.
Now Bledsoe, and he's going to be under pressure again and sacked. Charging in was number 58, Trent Cole, a rookie out of Cincinnati, who's going to see some playing time now because Indy Kalu was hurt and inactive tonight.
Yeah, they were in there 6 defensive backs on that one, and Cole has a linebacker number, but he is a defensive end, and they want him in at that right defensive end because they said he has natural pass rushing skills.
2nd and 12 out of the gun. It's an inside handoff, and not getting out of the backfield because Jeremiah Trotter had his hands around his ankle is Marion Barber.
Yeah, and the Eagles are finally getting to the things that they said they had to do in this game. You talk to each guy and say, we have to pressure Drew Bledsoe.
And Philadelphia is going to take a timeout defensively. Monday Night Football being brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL, an official airline of Super Bowl 40. By Domino's, the delivery experts get the door. It's Domino's. Bud Light, smooth and refreshing Bud Light, great taste, great times. And Citizen watches Citizen Echo Drive, unstoppable. Aerial shots tonight being brought to you by Budweiser Select. If Dallas wins, they're tied with the Giants for first in the NFC East. In effect, they'd have the lead because they've already beaten the Giants and they're only winning the squad this season. For Philadelphia, as we said at the top, big game for Dallas, huge game for the Eagles, who lead by 7. 3rd down and 12.
I was going to say, I know what Bill Parcells is thinking. The second half, we better get our running game going because they're going to give us a lot of pressure if we don't.
Right, their running game is right now 4 net yards in the half. And Bledsoe is under pressure again, and he's able to avoid the sack, but he is spilled up the 37-yard line, and that's going to make it 4th down. It's also going to create a punt. You can see what sort of a series it's been for Drew. Timeout, Philadelphia. 55 seconds to go, and Dallas is going to punt. Philadelphia has taken 2 timeouts defensively. So they have one more stoppage. Matt McBriar to punt. Brian Westbrook back to run it back. Westbrook not normally their run back guy, but they save him these days for key games and key situations. This is a key game. 24-yard line. Westbrook's going to come across the field. You've got a flag down, and it's almost always against the returning team, so it would have been a pretty good run back 95% of the time in this situation. He's going to come back.
And as a punt return blocker, you always look for that angle. When your guy crosses the field, you're going to get some great angles, but you have to stay up and you have to have your head in front.
The illegal block in the back, number 53 on the return team. 10-yard penalty. Receivers keep the ball, first down.
Mark Semino.
Yeah, you're looking for those kind of blocks, you know, where the guy's going one way and then he starts back. You see like that. You want to catch that guy just like Semino almost caught Copper, but he had to get his head in front. But that's the one that you look for, you know, when he's going like this and then he turns and he doesn't see you and you just get him right in the ear hole. Semino didn't get the ear hole.
Yeah, just barely touched him, but still he had him from the wrong angle.
He got in bad position. He could have positioned himself better.
Ball to the 13-yard line. McNabb's going to hand the ball off, and this is going to be Reno Mahe. And Mahe's going to take it up to the 20-yard line. And the way the Eagles start this drive, they're going to be content. And Donovan says, let's huddle up right now. So they took the timeouts, but they didn't have the field position they wanted. And Andy Reid's going to be content to take a 7-point lead into the locker room.
Yeah, I think offensively he got what he wanted. McNabb looks like he's running a lot better, moving a lot better. He's getting Westbrook the ball. He's getting L.J. Smith the ball. And Lamar Gordon has been a pleasant surprise in this first half.
22 consecutive wins when leading at the half. But you know we are the kings of the kibak. And now the start of the third quarter. Al Michaels, John Madden, Sam Ryan in Philadelphia, where the Eagles are on top 14-7. And Dallas will get the ball to start the third quarter with Tyson Thompson, the rookie out of San Jose State and a native of Irving, Texas, back to receive it.
And one of the fastest guys on this Cowboy team. I remember seeing him in training camp in Oxnard, and when he runs, you just know it's speed. He's all about speed.
And they've used him as a running back. He's the number 3 running back. In fact, he had a good day after Julius Jones had gotten hurt in that first game against Philadelphia. On the run from the 16. He brings it back to the 34-yard line. Let's check in with Sam.
Al, I spoke to Bill Parcells at halftime. He was surprised at the amount of times that the Eagles were running the ball in the first half. 20 times, 9 times the first game against them this season in the entire game. He said we could only expect what they've been doing all year. I asked Andy Reid about the balanced attack on offense. He said more of the same in the second half. What's bothering him, though, has been the penalties. 7 of those in the first half. He said we have to concentrate, gentlemen.
And that rushing game for Philadelphia has been an effective rushing game. 4.5 yards per rush. The Dallas rushing game is non-existent. They're averaging less than 1 yard per rush. And they begin with Julius Jones out of the backfield here. So Jones, who started the game on the bench after 3 weeks on the bench because of an ankle injury, picks up a couple here. And we take a look at the numbers through the first 30 minutes of play with the Eagles 176 yards. And again, the penalties, the Eagles 9, the Cowboys 1, but the Eagles have the lead.
You know, and one of the things that the Cowboys pride themselves in is being able to run and stop the run, and they did neither in the first half, and that's what they have to get to in the second half.
Split backs here, second down and 6. And Bledsoe's going to swing it outside, and that's going to be caught by Lusaka Polite, the fullback, and he is about 3 yards short of the first down as he's tackled by Lito Shepherd. He's going to be extinct one of these days. I mean, not Polite, but that fullback position.
Yeah, it's just extra tight ends. They just don't use those guys anymore. Watch a rookie, Rob Petiti, number 79 here, does a nice job on Javon Curse. He's been a pleasant surprise, Petiti. I mean, you know, from his first day in training camp and then starting in preseason all the way through to the mid-season point.
A real find. He was a 6th-round draft choice out of Pittsburgh, and you've got an offside that's going to come here because as Johnson makes the catch, it was Javon Curse a little anxious, and that's going to cost them a first down.
You know, talking to Jim Johnson, the defensive coordinator of the Eagles.
Offside defense, 93. 5-yard penalty, first down.
The thing that he wanted to do was double Terry Glenn, and he's done that in the first half. Terry Glenn has not caught a pass yet. He wanted to be physical with Jason Witten. Jason Witten only has 2 passes, and then they wanted to rush and put pressure on Bledsoe especially up the middle. And they really didn't do that until the end of the second quarter.
And when they did, it turned out to be the difference-making play of the first half. That pressure coming from Trotter, forcing the interception.
I think before the Cowboys are going to get big plays with Terry Glenn, they have to get back and get some control at the line of scrimmage.
That offside, a first down. Since it was third and short, and Julius Jones on first down takes it up to the 48-yard line for a gain of a couple.
I think that formation there is one that Bill Parcells thought would be pretty good. The real power formation, 3 tight ends, 1 back and 1 wide receiver. And he thought on first down he would use this. You see, here's a tight end here, and tight end on this side. 1 back, you run to the power side, but they didn't win the battles over there. You got guys over there, but those guys have to win their battles on the power side.
2nd and 8 from the 48-yard line. Under pressure is Bledsoe, and he goes down, and that's Trent Cole. Again, the rookie getting the play tonight in the absence of the injured Indy Kalu, the rookie from Cincinnati, a 5th-round pick.
You know, Andy Reid was saying that this guy is their best pass rusher, Trent Cole. You're going to see him here. He's going to make an inside move. You start up to the outside, then you make that quick inside move, dip that inside shoulder, and then go right to the quarterback. See him dip that inside shoulder, get low. Good pass rushers use their feet, their hands at the same time, and they're able to dip.
2 sacks for Cole. That's an 11-yard sack. It's 3rd down and 19. And he almost fumbled as Barber juggled it because Trent Cole got in there and almost created a turnover.
Yeah, it was a 3rd down, and Trent Cole was going on another inside pass rush, and he just took the inside on Torrin Tucker, and he found a ball carrier right there.
Parcells barks into the headset. Matt McBriar will punt. Reno Mahe back to return it.
I know what he's barking. He's barking, we're getting whipped at the line of scrimmage.
Good hang time. Mahe from the 16-yard line to the 25-yard line. And that's where Philadelphia will take it for the first time in the second half. 11:21 left in the third. 14-7 Eagles. Again, the standings, the Giants losing yesterday 6-3. Dallas will be 6-3, or they'll be 5-4 after tonight. There are the division records, which, of course, is so important when it comes to tiebreakers. And as you can see, Philadelphia has already dug a hole. 0-2 in the division. Dallas 2-1. McNabb on first down on the Eagles' first play of the third quarter. Pass goes to Reggie Brown for a gain of 4.
You know, it's interesting. The Eagles have been averaging 58 yards per game rushing. Tonight in the first half, they've had 89 yards. And this is why the offensive line, as you see right here, are really winning the battles at the line of scrimmage. The green jerseys are getting the white jerseys going backward. They're getting on them, they're controlling them, and they're making holes for their running backs. And that's what has to upset a coach. So when your guys are getting whipped at the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 6. Pressure is put on McNabb, and McNabb is going to softly toss it on the run to Josh Parry just before it crosses the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be a first down on Parry's 2nd catch of the game.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that had to surprise Bill Parcells is how well Donovan McNabb is moving. And I think that he got him confused on that first run early in the game when he ran. And now you see here, okay, you think he's a sitting duck back there. We'll just go after him. He gets out of the pocket, keeps the thing alive. And we saw him run for a touchdown. And in that one there, we saw him just dump it off for a first down.
13-yard gain. 1st and 10. The ball is at the 42-yard line. And now you've got Lamar Gordon to back up to Westbrook to the 47-yard line. That'll be a gain of 4.
I think that first run, this one right here is the one that I was talking about, Al. I think this changed everything for the Eagles because they come in there, they thought McNabb won't run with the ball anymore. He used to do that. We don't have to worry about that part of the game anymore. Right off the bat, he did that, and he showed the Cowboys, hey, you better defend everything tonight.
He did that. He scored. His first rushing touchdown of the season. He's not quite back to being the threat that he was as Westbrook takes it to the outside after he nearly got stopped at the line of scrimmage. Greg Lewis with the blocking yard run.
Did you see that? That was amazing. Most guys will start to the left side off tackle and bounce outside. He's going to start right up the middle. He's going to start in here and bounce out. Look, he starts to the right side, gets in the middle there, and then bounces all the way out to the left side. How do you do that?
You know what? He did it off John Runyon's hip.
Right. I think the Cowboys just lost him. I mean, he ran into Runyon's hip, and that bounced him about 10 yards wide.
Carom shot, 35-yard line on a roll, and that's caught. And you got Roy Williams, and that's nearly a horse collar as he is able to tackle L.J. Smith. Not quite, but again, here was where the whole horse collar thing started last year with Williams tackling Terrell Owens.
And then that was the tackle that broke Terrell Owens' leg. And then, you know, hence the rule. It's awfully close there. Again, the hand has to go inside the back of the shoulder pads to be a horse collar. That's awfully close.
Right on the edge. Second and 5. Now McNabb, and that line really doing its job. And that pass is caught at the 28-yard line, but it's out of bounds. He was juggling it as he went out of bounds. Reggie Brown incomplete.
And the Cowboys look like a tired defense. I know they're alternating that defensive line, but they sure aren't getting much pressure on Donovan McNabb. And part of it can be the blocking. Part of it.
Receiver bobbled the ball.
Part of it can be that now they have to worry about the containment of McNabb.
And last week he began to show a little bit more than he had shown, even though they lost to Washington. And tonight he's not going to go back to being the old McNabb, but certainly he's given Parcells and company a lot more to think about. Third down and 5, the ball at the 30-yard line. McNabb setting up, and that pass is dropped, and that's incomplete. Reggie Brown can't handle that. And so it's 4th down, and now do you want to attempt a long field goal? And of course the downside to that is that it would give Dallas pretty good field position. For the moment, you've got Akers coming out onto the field.
That was a big drop there because it may not have been a first down, but it would have picked up, you know, 2 or 3 more yards towards Akers' field goal.
Remember, Akers had the hamstring, kicked in tremendous pain earlier in the season, and he was out about 5 weeks. This is a 48-yarder in his second week back. Detmer puts it down, and David Akers is able to spin it through. 48-yarder for a guy who's... Monday Night Football being brought to you by Hummer. Check out the new H3. Hummer like nothing else. Verizon Wireless, there's only one reason to choose a wireless company. It's the network. And Snickers, home of the Snickers hungriest fan. The Liberty Bell, Independence Hall. About a 10-15 minute drive from here with no traffic.
Philadelphia is quite a place, isn't it?
It really is. I've always loved coming here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a special city, and there's just, you know, I mean, you feel the history, you feel the life in the city, and sometimes you don't think about Philadelphia as being a good place, but Philadelphia is one of the good places.
Yep. And as a sports city, I mean, it's phenomenal. Tyson Thompson up to the 30-yard line. Knowledgeable, throaty fans. Every sport. Right now, plenty to be throaty about. Their team, in a very important game, is up by 10.
Now you see Donovan McNabb there, and he's kind of upset because remember that third down pass that he threw to Reggie Brown? Watch Brian Westbrook right here. I mean, the Cowboys are coming on a blitz. No one covers Westbrook. McNabb doesn't look out here. Look, if he takes one peek to his right, he has a touchdown.
Instead, they settle for a field goal. It's a 17-7 game. And now to the tight end, Dan Campbell, the ex-Giant. And Dan Campbell has a first down at the 48-yard line. That's a gain of 18.
You know, that was that same formation we were talking about, the 3 tight ends, 1 back, 1 wide receiver. And usually when you put Dan Campbell in there, he's the blocking tight end, so they count on him to block, and then he goes out and he gets wide open.
They throw to him so infrequently, it's only his second catch of the season. 1st and 10, the ball at the 48-yard line. Halfway through the third quarter. And it's Jones who can barely get out of the backfield before he's stopped by Sam Rayburn.
And that's the one thing that was the Eagles have pass blitzes and they have run blitzes, and that was a run blitz there. And anytime you have a defensive lineman that gets 3 or 4 yards penetration in your backfield, you don't have a chance to get back to the line of scrimmage.
See Chris lining up. There's Rayburn. 2nd and 9 at the 49-yard line. And Bledsoe throws, and that's caught. So he goes to the other tight end. That's Jason Witten this time. And upcoming will be a 3rd down and long 3.
This is the time the Eagles, 3rd down, they're going to come into blitz. Do you go maximum protection and try and get a big one, or do you just go for a 1st down?
What do you think Johnson will do here? Or what do you think Jimmy's going to call?
Well, I think he'll probably blitz, and I think Sean Payton will call a pass that can get him a 1st down.
Marion Barber, the sole back. They send Keyshawn Johnson in motion. Eagles are going to rush forward. Bledsoe's going to roll, and he's going to have it almost picked off. Lito Shepard almost had his 2nd pick. He jumped it. Keyshawn Johnson, the intended receiver. Shepard read it right, just couldn't come up with the interception.
Yeah, I think when you're going to throw it that short for a 1st down, you have to get rid of it quicker. They don't do a lot of this, but he holds that ball too long. And then Shepard is out there, and you just see Keyshawn Johnson is just sitting there waiting, and Lito Shepard has a chance to jump in front of it. But if that's going to come, you can only take like 3 or 4 steps, and that ball has to be out of there. You can't sprint that far out and throw that short pass.
Matt McBriar, short kick, fair caught 16-yard line by Reno Mahe. With 5 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the 3rd period, and the Eagles leading the Cowboys 17-7. I know a lot of you watch Lost. Matthew Fox, and they shoot it in Hawaii. He's such an Eagle fan. On hiatus for a couple of days, has come to Philadelphia wearing a Brian Dawkins uniform, and we can tell you Lost comes your way Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern and Pacific right here on ABC.
I told you Philadelphia was a pretty good city. When you leave Hawaii to come here, that's a good city.
That's right. You go to a football game, and that pass is incomplete, and you've got a flag down at the snap. Bill Carollo's been pretty busy tonight. 10 penalties against Philadelphia, only 1 against Dallas.
They'll look at use of the hands to the face. 41 defense prior to the pass. 5-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
Terrence Newman, this big sports complex here. Take a look at this. I mean, here we are, of course, at Lincoln Financial. The Phillies play right here across the parking lot. Brand new stadium. That's the old Spectrum, which looks like a little pimple. And then over here, just coming out of view, is Wachovia Center. The one there comes back into view where the 76ers and the Flyers play.
All right, it looks so bright. I think tonight's a full moon.
Yes. And McNabb throws and he dumps it, and it's caught by L.J. Smith. With 5.5 remaining in the 3rd. So we showed you where all of the teams play, all in this complex. But take a look at this. Of the cities that have the 4 major pro sports teams, baseball, football, basketball, and hockey, this city has gone the longest without having a championship in any of the sports. The 76ers, the last Philadelphia team to win a championship back in 1983.
How about the Eagles in 1960? Remember who the quarterback was?
Norm Van Brocklin, if memory serves, and Lamar Gordon takes this about a yard shy of the 1st down.
Right, the Dutchman. Buck Shaw was the coach. Chuck Bednarik that year played both ways.
Right.
I mean, he was a center and middle linebacker. I mean, that was that was football playing on both ends of the deal.
And that was the pre-Super Bowl era. You'd play an NFL championship game. And then, of course, since the Super Bowl started, the Eagles have gone to the Super Bowl on 2 occasions, once with Dick Vermeil losing to Oakland, and then last year losing to New England. 3rd and 1, the ball at the 30-yard line. Spinning to the outside. Boy, that's a nice move by Gordon. As Gordon found the open spot, gets to the outside off a Billy McMullen block, and they convert on 3rd down.
You know, you don't expect Lamar Gordon to do that. You know, that's a Westbrook move there. When Lamar Gordon runs, you think he's just going to have the fullback in there. It's going to be I formation. He'll just power it up inside. He starts to take it up inside and then makes a nice bounce. See him cut off that left foot and then make a nice bounce to the outside, then get outside, then cut off the right foot.
Gordon seeing spot duty tonight, but very effective spot duty. 9 carries for 43 yards and a flag.
I think those have been a couple of big things for the Eagles. One, McNabb running, and the other, Gordon running.
69 offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Sam talking about as Runyon commits the foul. Now Bill Parcells a little surprised with what Philadelphia is doing. Again, 71% of the time they've been passing this year. Tonight, 24 runs, 22 passes.
But I think when you play an Andy Reid team, I think the thing that you got last time, you know you're not going to get the same thing. And I think that Bill Parcells, you know, when he thinks about that, will really know that, you know, what they did in Texas didn't work for him, was going to be different.
1st and 15, and to the outside, that's Chad Lewis. And Chad Lewis, who scored 2 touchdowns in the NFC Championship game last year against Atlanta, but suffered a foot sprain that required an operation, hasn't played since then, has just come back, was just activated, a 17-yard catch, and the crowd salutes him.
And he goes in motion and no one covers him. I mean, you see him go in motion right here. Watch, and there's no one out there on defense. So McNabb sees that because he missed, remember the last time they had the ball, he missed Brian Westbrook. That time he puts Chad Lewis in motion, sees that no one goes with him, so just gives him the ball.
Shanley, the linebacker, covering him, but he was way behind the play. It's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Short drop, quick pass, incomplete. Let's go to Sam.
Al, Chad Lewis told me this time last Monday night he was on his couch in Utah watching the Colts and the Patriots. Got the call from the team on Tuesday. He was on the plane on the way back to Philadelphia. He said, I felt like Vinny Testaverde. That was the right Liz Frank, his right foot that he severely sprained. Some doctors said a 50 chance of coming back, 50% chance. Some doctors said he would never come back. He had to work on his timing. He told me he bought a $1,500 jug machine which fired off footballs. He would set it up in his garage. His wife would turn it on. He'd run down his driveway, catch 200 balls a day, Al.
So off his couch and into the action on Monday night as Westbrook picks up about 7. And one of the reasons they had to bring Lewis back is because L.J. Smith was hurt last week, suffered a concussion, and they weren't sure about him until midweek.
Yeah, in fact, he didn't practice, I don't think, until Saturday, L.J. Smith. But then even with L.J. Smith being healthy, they still needed a Chad Lewis.
3rd down and 3. The ball is at the 41-yard line. Eagles dominating time of possession here in the second half to this point. 3rd down and 3 from the 41-yard line as McNabb rolls, buys time, throws sideline, and it is not caught inbounds. It is Billy McMullen, but it is incomplete, and it will be 4th down.
But at least they know, at least the Eagles know, and Andy Reid knows that now he can move Donovan McNabb. And I think even more importantly than that, Al, the Cowboys know that he can move. And defending a McNabb that will move is totally different from a McNabb that is going to just sit in the pocket.
And the New York Giants will know it as well because they are next up for Philadelphia. And that punt is contacted before it gets to the end zone. It is Roderick Hood who gets down there at the 4-yard line to pin Dallas with 2:19 remaining in the 3rd. 10-point Philly lead. Monday night in Wisconsin, Lambeau Field next week. Vikings, Packers on Monday Night Football. Chiefs, Texans from Houston, Sunday night on ESPN. Philadelphia, Carol Owens back home in Atlanta, second game of suspension, hearing to be held here on Friday to determine his immediate future. But for right now, the Eagles up by 10, and the Cowboys with the crowd roaring start from their own 4, and Julius Jones goes next to nowhere. Hollis Thomas is there first to hit him, along with Javon Curse. Something about playing at home for the Philadelphia Eagles, because at home this year they have been tremendous in terms of rushing defense. Remember, LaDainian Tomlinson came in here and had a terrible day. Oakland couldn't move the ball. And then when they go on the road, Atlanta and Denver killed them. But take a look at that at home, what they've done against the rush. Second down and 9, and again tonight as well. Bledsoe throws over the middle, and that's Keyshawn Johnson who makes the catch at the 22-yard line to buy them some breathing room.
That was a big pass by Drew Bledsoe and a big pass protection by the line. On second and long, I kind of thought that Jim Johnson would go after him. He doesn't come on the rush, so they have good protection. You see, when you let Drew Bledsoe do that, again, you let Keyshawn Johnson run in your secondary. He doesn't have to be wide open, but he knows how to use his body, and he'll get a first down. But that was all about pass protection right there.
3 catches, 33 yards. You got 3 tight ends in there now for the Dallas Cowboys. There's 3 catches by Keyshawn Johnson. There's the play fake. Bledsoe steps up to avoid the pressure. Throws, and that's knocked down. He tried to go to Witten, the tight end, and Brian Dawkins, the safety, came over to knock it away.
Yeah, that's what they wanted to take away, and the other guy they want to take away is Aaron Glenn. Glenn was on the same side, and they double him. And you see what they do with Witten is they're just working with him on linebackers underneath and a safety over the top. Dawkins is waiting. He has Trotter underneath. He has Dawkins over the top. And then on the same side, they had Aaron Glenn doubled. Aaron Glenn has yet to catch a ball.
Second down and 10 at the 22-yard line. And he goes to Johnson again, and Keyshawn makes the catch and is taken out of bounds by Roderick Hood, about 2 yards shy of the first. It'll be 3rd and short now in the final minute of the 3rd quarter.
And then Terry Glenn. I mean, every play tonight, every passing situation, they have double covered him. So the guys that they thought they had to take away was Jason Witten and Terry Glenn. So they've done that. And then the other thing they had to do again was put pressure up the middle on Drew Bledsoe.
The one big pass play tonight was to Peerless Price for 58 yards to set up a touchdown, and that's been Price's only catch. And now Bledsoe with a flag down. Drew's going to go down, but a penalty marker on the near side of the 34-yard line.
One of the things, if you're the quarterback and you start to move up in the pocket, you better get rid of the ball and not move too far up into the pocket.
Corolla says, what's that again?
Holding, 29, defense, 5-yard penalty, and the run, first down.
That's Roderick Hood, and of course it's a defensive foul. It's a first down. 12 penalties against 2 for Philadelphia.
Now watch this max stats, the snap to the sack, and this was the thing that they're worried about Drew Bledsoe when he first came here, that he held the ball too long. And on that time, you could see he held it 5.6 seconds. And again, he tried to creep up into the middle of the pocket. And there's very, very little creeping room up in there.
Blitz. And it's Trotter who comes in and takes care of Jones. And again, Dallas with no rushing offense through 3 quarters. End of 3. Philadelphia 17, Dallas 7. And Monday Night Football from Philadelphia continues after this message from our ABC station. Fourth quarter about to begin in Philadelphia. Al Michaels, John Madden, and Sam Ryan. 15 minutes remaining in regulation Eagles on top by a score of 17-7, and it's 2nd and 11 for the Dallas Cowboys from their own 35-yard line. Bledsoe in the pocket. Pressured. Throws. Short gain. Julius Jones tackled by Jeremiah Trotter after a pickup of 3. Philadelphia, 36 consecutive wins when they have a lead of 10 or more points. Longest current streak. And of course, John, here we go again. You know, we're always putting up the kibosh.
Kibosh. That's possible kibosh.
Possible kibosh.
But the Cowboys have to get something going. I mean, they haven't been able to get any pass protection down or get a running game going.
3rd down and 8. Bledsoe pressured again, and that pass intended for Keyshawn Johnson is thrown into the ground, and Dallas will have to punt again. Matt McBriar has been busy tonight.
You know what I think the key word is, Alan, on both those last calls, you say Bledsoe pressured, and that's a difference. You say, how did this team beat them the last time? The Eagles didn't pressure Bledsoe. Tonight, just about every pass, he's under pressure.
In that last game in Irving 5 weeks ago, Bledsoe threw 35 passes, wasn't sacked once. Good deep angle kick, and Mahi's going to back all the way to the 6-yard line and has a lane. And Mahi out to the 31-yard line. That's one of those kicks. Why are you going to field it inside the 10? You know, if you don't run it back, if you don't get a good run back, the memory says you shouldn't have caught it. Let it go. But Reno found that opening and turns a 56-yard punt into only a 31 net because it's a 25-yard run back.
You know, that's a rule that they may change now. That, you know, that there's so many balls that bounce inside the 10 and stop on the 2-yard line that maybe when you are in the 10-yard line, you take that, and if you can get a few more, that's good. If you can get it out to the 30 like Mahi just did on that last one, it's great.
Yeah, one of those things that changes with the times because the kickers are so good right now at hitting those wedge shots. That was anything but a wedge. That was a great kick because it was angled and deep. And Mahi with a 25-yard run back and then a quick slant to Greg Lewis. And Lewis has a 1st down out to the 48-yard line.
You know, that's that old West Coast slant, that big thing. Again, you have a corner up there tight. You get him going upfield, get that inside foot back, and then you get inside of him. And the minute you get inside of him, your quarterback sees it, and he just gives you the ball.
So much made of the absence of Terrell Owens. Don't forget they also lost Todd Pinkston, who would have been the other starter, to an Achilles injury in training camp, and that's why Lewis has gotten the chance. And here is Westbrook crossing the 50-yard line. Short gain. Kevin Burnett made the stop, and you can tell Drew Bledsoe has been in a dogfight tonight.
Well, anytime the back of your quarterback's jersey has grass stains on it like that, it's a bad pass protection night.
Maybe that's why Philly wears green. You can't tell the grass stains on the Eagle uniforms.
You just don't want them on your back. I mean, grass stains on the front, on the helmet, and it is good, but not on the back. The back of your jersey or your pants.
2nd down and 7. Pressure through the middle. And then the pass is almost intercepted as Kevin Burnett was there. And Donovan shoveled it away and got away with it. That win put the pressure on.
You see, the one thing about Donovan McNabb that is so great when he's running, though, is that he keeps all plays alive. I don't know that Westbrook was ready for that one. It was about a half-a-yard pass, and I think Westbrook was looking upfield to become a blocker for him.
And Donovan wasn't sure himself. Keyshawn Johnson shouting out encouragement to the defense. It's 3rd down and 7. Shotgun. And McNabb's going to step up. Here he goes. And Donovan is going to be forced out of bounds, but I think he's able to pick up the 1st down, and then he takes a seat. So Donovan at the end knocked out of bounds by Scott Shanley.
That is some effort. You know, you can think of every big game that Donovan McNabb has ever played for the Philadelphia Eagles, and in the 3rd and 4th quarter, he's always made big runs. I mean, you always get to this position where you need a play. You need a first down, and he'll get it for you with his legs.
A little shove out of bounds, and he came up a little gingerly on the way back.
I think with all the stuff that he has going on inside his body, he's going to be a lot gingerly.
Amazing. And that's a jump ball that winds up incomplete. And then Greg Lewis is able to draw the foul because of the late hit after the pass was incomplete. It was Keith Davis who was there, and Keith Davis is going to get flagged for it.
You know, Aaron Glenn made a nice play in the ball, and then they just tried to keep it alive, and then here comes Keith Davis on a hit, and that's the, you know, again, it's the unprotected wide receiver.
Roughness, number 29, defense, late hit after the incomplete pass. 15-yard penalty, first down.
I mean, Aaron Glenn is playing here for Anthony Henry tonight. He makes a good play of getting the ball out of there. Now the play is over, and you don't have to do that. I mean, you know, no being aggressive, being tough, letting wide receivers know you're in there. I know that's all part of the game, but not after the ball is on the ground. You don't do that.
That is the type of penalty that for years has driven Bill Parcells nuts. Gordon is in the game at the tailback spot. Lamar has it. The ex-Ram, ex-Dolphin takes the ball to the 21-yard line behind Josh Parry. And Gordon off the bench tonight, 48 yards rushing. Westbrook has 72 yards rushing. McNabb has 22 yards rushing. And so the Eagles, who had no ground game this season, suddenly find one at the most opportune time.
And you see Lamar Gordon, he was just telling the bench, you know, I got to go in here. You know, you'll keep feeding me the ball. Let me stay in here, because he's running with a lot of determination and a lot of power.
Eagles have rushed for 149 yards tonight. The Cowboys 19. And a flag comes in here after Gordon gets it to the 19-yard line.
Oh, that one didn't work.
Personal foul, face mask, 95, defense. Passing distance to the goal, first down.
Personal foul on Jason Ferguson.
That's a tough thing, you know, in nose tackle like Ferguson is. You're just, you know, taking on blocks. You're in there in the middle. You know, stuff was running in here. Looks like someone has his face mask.
Well, yeah, he's got Jamal Jackson, and then he's getting face masked as well.
He's just fighting for his life. I mean, he's going to go to your back, and when you start, and you're a nose tackle or defensive lineman, and you start going to your back, you just grab anything.
Dueling face masks. Officials confer again.
The end of the run, half the distance, first down.
And that'll put the ball at the 9-yard line and make it first and goal.
You know, we're talking about rushing yards, and Philadelphia had 150 or so right now, and the Cowboys only have 19. You know, I mean, coming into this game, you said one's going to have 150 at the start of the fourth quarter, one's going to have a 19. You wouldn't have guessed it this way.
No way. On first and goal, McNabb protected again. He'll keep it, and he's going to get tackled from behind by Brady James.
But there's just no one open there. I mean, that was the thing that, you know, he had to run because the coverage was real good, or there was just no one open. I mean, he went to 3 reads before he started to run. There's someone open right there. He didn't see it. I mean, he looked one, then he looked to the second guy, then he looked to the third guy, and then he didn't scramble until after that.
Second down and goal. The ball is at the 10-yard line. Westbrook. A little bit of a stretch play behind a John Runyon block. Gets about half the distance to the goal line. It'll be 3rd down and goal.
That's that stretch play to the right. Remember the last time he ran it down here, Brian Westbrook, he ran it in for a touchdown between Sean Andrews and John Runyon. But here he's getting this one a little wider. See, he wants to run that right to the numbers and not make his break until he gets to the numbers on the field. The first time he had a big hole inside, so he took it.
3rd and goal. Shovel. Westbrook gets to about the 2-yard line off the shovel pass, and it'll be 4th down.
Hey, did you hear someone on defense yell shovel, shovel? Someone yelled shovel before the ball was snapped. So it had to be some formation or something, because the Cowboys, that was a play that they knew was coming. Because I heard it in my ears. Someone yelled shovel, shovel. And they start off with a shovel, and they're right there playing shovel.
Sure wasn't Jack Curtis?
No, I think it was Lee Grosscup, but I think the key was that they were in split backs.
At Utah, Jack Curtis invented it. Grosscup manifested it back in the late 50s. 20-yard field goal attempt by Akers is good. So the Cowboys at least keep it to a 2-possession game. Philadelphia tacks on 3. Eagles lead 20-7. Jimmy Woods getting it started tonight with our tees. Philadelphia, Dallas, always a tremendous attraction and a game of major significance considering the standings and everything else that has gone on around it. And for Philadelphia, a vital game. They lead by 13. The kick comes into the arms of Tyson Thompson, and he'll run it back out to the 32-yard line. So Bledsoe and the group going back to work. Down 20-7 with 9 minutes to play in the 4th. Vikings, Packers. All of a sudden, the Vikings trying to get things turned around. Beat the Giants yesterday. Go to Green Bay next Monday night. Here goes Bledsoe now. Buys time off the fake. Going deep downfield. Glenn hasn't caught a pass tonight and still hasn't. He went deep for Terry Glenn, but incomplete. Lito Shepherd and Michael Lewis back covering on the play.
And we saw Terry Glenn on that play being double covered, as he has been on every play tonight. Yeah, they wanted to take a shot. They know that they have to get something going. They have him inside, outside. Michael Lewis is just running on the inside.
Now 2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Try the ground again. This is Barber. Very little room for Barber tonight or for Jones. You got Jason Witten with a block right there, and Barber has now carried the ball 9 times for 12 yards, and the other back, Jones, 8 times for 16 yards. The Dallas Cowboys have 24 rushing yards on 20 carries tonight. And there is the disparity. And in good measure, one of the reasons for the disparity in the score. 3rd down and 5. And then struggled and incomplete because Jason Witten was draped by Matt Ware. The extra defensive back comes in, and Bledsoe, showing frustration, comes off the field.
Well, you know, he's frustrated because they come in and they wanted to take a shot. They took the shot early to Terry Glenn. Then they get 3rd down, and they know that they have to get the 1st down. So he goes to Jason Witten, and Witten doesn't come up with it.
Matt McBriar with his 8th punt of the night. You don't want your punter punting 8 times in a night. That's a bad sign.
It means you're playing against a very good defense.
And that kick will go all the way to the end zone. And then you've got a flag coming in at the end of the play from behind the kicker after what was a 62-yard boot. And the penalty is going to be against the Eagles.
And as you say, it has to be something way up on the punting end, because the referee was behind the punt and threw it.
Holding 58, receiving team. We have the distance to go after the touchback at the 10-yard line. First down.
That's the key difference. When the punt is in the air, the receiving team retains possession. 8:02 to play. Philly ball and a 13-point lead. Plenty to dance about for Eagle fans to this point. They're up by a score of 20-7. And again, the subtext tonight, Terrell Owens, the suspension. Eagles lose last week. How do they respond without him? Well, so far so good tonight, thanks in good measure to a running game that's actually picked up more yardage than has the passing game tonight. Lamar Gordon. And again, John, we were talking about the chances of T.O. playing for Philadelphia would be next to 0, but the whole league is going to look at this arbitration ruling on Friday. And the question then becomes, what are they going to do? And does he wind up in somebody else's uniform before the end of the season?
Well, I don't think he's going to wind up in this uniform. So if they say that you have to let him play, it'll be for someone else. But I think that Andy Reid has really done a good job. At some point, you make a decision and you say, we can't live with that. Now I have to coach the guys that I have here. We have to make the best with the guys that are here, not worry about guys at home.
That's caught underneath by Reggie Brown. It'll be 3rd down and 6. And as Reid said, I mean, Andy will give as much rope, maybe more than almost any coach in the league. It wasn't just one thing. It wasn't just being critical of McNabb in an interview a week and a half ago. It was an accumulation of things. And remember, this goes all the way back to Owens criticizing McNabb in the offseason, said he got tired at the end of the Super Bowl. Preseason, you had that whole thing in training camp where they sent him home. So this was something that was on fire for months.
Yeah, but the thing about it is a lot of players on this team like Terrell Owens, and Andy Reid really liked Terrell Owens. He wanted it to work. Donovan McNabb wanted it to work. They wanted Terrell Owens to be here.
But he's not. They still have the lead. They take a timeout with 6:37 remaining in the 4th. Bill Parcells, 3rd year as the Cowboys head coach. Andy Reid, 7th year as the Eagles head coach. For Parcells, of course, it's 18 total seasons with the Giants, the Patriots, the Jets, and now here. And it's 3rd down and 5, and a very key defensive stop here for the Dallas Cowboys. And Donovan McNabb makes sure they don't get that stop as he's able to hit Greg Lewis with the pass for a 1st down to move them away from the goal line and allow them to chew up more of the clock after a 15-yard gain.
That time he gets inside of Jacques Reeves, and again, it's that same thing. Tight coverage, make the guy go up the field, put his inside foot back, and then the minute the inside foot goes back, you take the inside. McNabb reads it and gives it to him for a 1st down. That's the play. If you're going to be up there and jam him, and you have to take that slant away, you have to defensively keep your inside foot up so that he can't take that inside.
Now Westbrook, and they can begin to work on the clock, which is under 6 minutes. The Eagles have beaten the Cowboys 6 consecutive times in Philadelphia. Parcells individually, with a couple of teams now, has lost his last 5 games in Philadelphia.
It was one of those things where tonight the Cowboys just haven't been controlling the line of scrimmage. They haven't gotten a big pass rush when they need it. They haven't stopped the run when they had to. The Eagles on both sides of the ball have controlled the line of scrimmage. And you're doing that with a center, Jamal Jackson, just up from the practice squad.
2nd and 7. They're going to give it to Westbrook, who cuts to the outside. Gets up to the 38. It'll be 3rd down and 2. One more thing on Owens. Here's McNabb's perspective.
The message I try to send to not only my teammates, but just the players across the league. Never let one person's feelings or what one may say kind of detour you away from, the path to your goal. Continue to work hard at what you do. Not everything is going to be crystal clear, but when you have that bump in the road, be able to either go over it or go around it and continue to stay on your path.
In general, talking about the Owens situation, and that is a key stop here for Dallas because they're going to get the ball back with a little less than 4 minutes to go by the time they get possession back.
Yeah, and now's the time again. The last time the Cowboys had it, they tried to take a shot to Terry Glenn, and I think you know he's their big play guy. He's their playmaker. I mean, he's the guy. If someone is going to make a big play for him, and the Cowboys, when they get the ball back, need a big play, that guy's Terry Glenn.
Hodges, who's had an erratic night. Philly letting the play clock run just about all the way down before the snap. Peerless Price is back to run it back for Dallas. He calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 28-yard line. It's a 33-yard boot. 3:44 to go. Looking ahead, the Cowboys with all of their timeouts plus the 2-minute warning, but they need 2 scores. They're down by 13. Terry Glenn came into the game averaging 19 yards per catch. He's been thrown to twice tonight. He has not caught a ball. And on top of that dyspeptic cake, you can put this icing. He's carried the ball once and lost 10 yards. 1st and 10. The ball is at the 28-yard line. Bledsoe trying to move him down the field, and that's Keyshawn Johnson who's going to make the catch. And Keyshawn gets taken down up at the 43-yard line. So for Keyshawn Johnson, that's 5 catches tonight for 56 yards. And you've got Michael Lewis, the Eagles safety, who is down on his stomach.
That's what Keyshawn Johnson will do, and the Cowboys are now going to go a hurry up because when you're down by 2 scores, it's a 4-minute drill, not a 2-minute drill. And you see Keyshawn again in here, and he is so big and strong that when a guy comes up and delivers a blow to him full speed, sometimes he takes the brunt of it. And that's exactly what happened to Michael Lewis. And Keyshawn Johnson just takes his left arm and plays off of it.
Keyshawn 6'4", and he weighs about 210. And you've got Lewis, who is 6'1" and 222, putting the hit on, but it's Lewis who is down and still down.
And Michael Lewis is a big hitter in this league, and Keyshawn Johnson is a guy that can and always has been able to take big hits.
The last time, speaking of Glenn, these teams met and Dallas dominated the game, there were the numbers. 7 catches, 2 of them for touchdowns, and that average per catch, of course, almost 17 yards below his season average.
You know, and sometimes when you're playing a divisional game and you know each other so well, you kind of know, okay, what they did last time, I don't know what they're going to do this time, but they're not going to do the same thing they did last time. And I know that Jim Johnson thought that there's no way the Cowboys may beat us again. They may move the ball, but they're not going to do it with Terry Glenn.
Because now when a guy is down this long, the concern with, at least now he sits up. Andy Reid came out and you saw Keyshawn Johnson uttering a little prayer to himself. Might have been helmet to helmet here as you take a look. Yeah.
Well, his helmet came, started on his shoulder pads and came up. But again, Keyshawn Johnson is so big and strong, he just played him off with that left arm. But again, now the Cowboys, you have a 2-minute drill when you need a score. When you need 2 scores, then you start your 2-minute drill at 4 minutes, and so it becomes a 4-minute or a hurry-up drill at this point for the Cowboys.
Quentin Michael comes into the game after Lewis wobbles off. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. To the outside. That's caught, and that is Terry Glenn, who finally makes the catch. A catch, and it's enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, that was on Lito Shepherd, and it was kind of short and deep. So what they did is they just had Terry Glenn, instead of trying to go deep where he was going to be doubled, just work on the short guy, who was Lito Shepherd. See, here he is on, now they have a guy over the top to double him deep, but if he just runs an out pattern like that, he's just working on a single corner.
4 receivers, 1st and 10. Going to run a draw, going to give it to Barber, and by running that draw, there's a lot of room in the middle, and Barber is going to to be out of bounds at the 21-yard line. So they spread them out. They send 2 guys into the slot, 2 guys wide, and Barber finally unleashes a run for the Cowboys tonight, 26 yards.
You know, we talk about Keyshawn Johnson and the things that he does. He's also a good blocker. Watch him right there. He gets that block that lets Barber get to the outside and get out of bounds. Keyshawn Johnson will catch those slants. He'll catch the tough balls, but he will also block downfield very well.
And Fearless Price doing his best as well to provide that escort, blocking downfield along with Johnson from the 20-yard line. Bledsoe throwing off his back foot, and he hits Glenn for the touchdown. So the silent Glenn all of a sudden gets noisy at the end of the game. It's a 20-yard touchdown. Dallas moves down the field in less than a minute to make it a 1-possession game.
Yeah, because it was finally man-to-man. They come on a blitz, the Eagles do, and you see Lito Shepherd's out here. He's man-to-man on Terry Glenn. He gives him a little move, and then right beyond him. They've been doubling all night. At that time, they come with a blitz, so they have single coverage on him out here. Lito Shepherd doesn't even get close to Terry Glenn.
Jones squeezes him with the extra point. That's going to make it a 6-point game, and there's still 3:04 to go. You still have 3 timeouts. You still have the 2-minute warning, so you're not compelled to try an onside kick. Not that they won't, but they're not compelled to do it here.
No, and that's the time that you see Drew Bledsoe there in the side. He sees this. See, everyone is packed in here. They're going to come in blitz. Here's Terry Glenn. Here's Lito Shepherd. He sees this whole thing man-to-man. There's no help in here. So he knows right now that if he can get it protected and get it off, he's going to get the ball out here. He doesn't look left. He doesn't look anyplace else. He looks to his right to Terry Glenn the whole way, knowing that he has single coverage on that side because the Eagles are blitzing him.
And Bledsoe under pressure, and as he's done for years, throwing off his back foot, got plenty on it. Now you've got L.J. Smith leaving the game, so you saw Lewis come off defensively. You got L.J. going back into the locker room, the tight end. And now what is Dallas going to do here?
I don't think they'll onside kick because, as you say, they still have their timeouts. They got the 2-minute warning. They were in that 4-minute hurry up. They did a nice job of that because they got their 1 score and there's still 3:04. There's no need in my mind to onside kick here.
And then you put it on your defense and you say you stop them.
Well, you know, that again is what good defense is. I mean, we can talk about, you know, stats and tackles and, you know, and first downs and all that stuff, but how do you play possessions at the end of the game when you need it to win? That's offense and defense.
Squeeze him to kick off conventionally. 11-yard line, Roderick Hood runs it back through the middle, takes it up to the 36-yard line. That'll stop the clock with 2:58 remaining in the 4th quarter. Again, all of the timeouts and the 2-minute warning for the Dallas defense to get the ball back.
You know, again, and that's why your timeouts are so important, because when you get to this point in the game, if you have them, then you can decide how you want to use them. Sometimes you get an opponent and you've used them, you know, you've had challenges, you've had all those things, and it kills you in a situation like this.
With L.J. Smith back in the locker room, their other tight end is Mike Bartram, and he's really their long snapper. They had him in Lewis, who was just activated. And this is going to be Gordon taking it to the 37-yard line, and Dallas will take its first timeout. So that took only a couple of seconds off the clock. It's a gain of 2. It's going to make it 3, 2nd down and 7. A little recap for you tonight. Some of the guys in the spotlight. Drew Bledsoe with that touchdown on that last series. And then Marion Barber's been held in check, but he had that big run to set up the touchdown. Brian Westbrook, pretty steady tonight, has given Philadelphia a rushing game. Donovan McNabb has even run as well, a rushing touchdown and 169 yards through the air. And then Terry Glenn, who did not have a catch until the last possession, with a touchdown and 2 catches on that last drive.
You know, and now if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, you think after they have those 3 timeouts, then you have to be able to use them on 1st, 2nd down, 3rd down. And then, but if you can get a 1st down, then they lose that advantage. So this is a situation that over the years, watching the Eagles, Andy Reid, Donovan McNabb in this situation, either this down or the next down, always makes a run for a first down.
2nd and 7. McNabb's going to throw, and it's going to be intercepted by Roy Williams. And Williams is inside the 20, inside the 10, and a touchdown. 45 yards as McNabb on 2nd down and 7 goes to the outside. And Roy Williams, who's been to 2 straight Pro Bowls, shows you why he makes the annual trip to Hawaii.
Donovan's mother just can't believe that, and she doesn't like the interception, but she's worried about her son being down because he got a pretty heavy block laid on him.
So it's injury to insult, and Donovan is going to come hobbling off the field. And how many times do you see that with a quarterback? We saw with Mark Bolger in the Monday night game. You throw the pick, you try to get involved in the play, and the next thing you know, you come limping off the field.
Yeah, but this play didn't have a chance. I mean, it was miscommunication all the way. There's Jerry Jones, the happy owner of the Cowboys, in that situation, but it just looked like, you know, the receiver was running one route. Donovan McNabb was throwing the other route. The guy that got the block on him was Scott Shanley down there just before Roy Williams went in.
Now Sweezum in his 2nd game in the National Football League for the point after to give Dallas the lead. And the snap wasn't that good, but Tony Romo was able to reach back, put it down, and the kick is good for the Cowboys. And now the question is, McNabb, can he come back in? I mean, they have been involved in some amazing finishes on both ends of the spectrum this year.
Here's what happens. It's over here on this side. Here's Roy Williams back here. You see, he's playing back like it's a cover 2, and he just baits Donovan McNabb. Then he starts working to the outside. Here's Roy Williams here. The receiver is running it up. There's no receiver out there. McNabb makes some read, and he just throws it out there to Roy Williams. Again, I think he thought it was cover 2. Roy Williams showed him a cover 2 shell, and then he came up in a cover 3. And then that was Scott Shanley right there at the end that got that block.
Here comes McNabb coming over, and Roy Williams goes into the end zone after James makes contact. And the question is, can McNabb now come back in? The backup quarterback is Coy Detmer. The other quarterback is Mike McMahon, the number 3 coming into the game. It's the 4th quarter. There's the whole Jones clan.
Yeah, Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones Jr.
Gene Jones is there. Jerry's wife. And that's James pushing McNabb down, and now it's a 1-point game. You have 2:43. The Eagles have 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning, and the kick from Cortez goes down into the arms of Roderick Hood, and Hood will run it back to the 29-yard line. And now here's McNabb, and he's going to put that helmet on. Sports hernia from the first week on. Then he takes that last shot, but here he comes back onto the field with 2:37 to play before this stunned the crowd.
Yeah, again, here's the shot that he took. He's the only guy that would be in position to tackle Roy Williams. The linebacker Scott Shanley gets him, and you can see that anytime you have something like a hernia and you get hit, it goes right to that point.
At the 30-yard line, Donovan McNabb will work out of the shotgun. McNabb throws, and it's behind Westbrook. We're talking about the Cowboys this year. Opening day, an amazing finish as they beat San Diego at the end. An interception saves it. The Monday night game where they have it all but in the bank, and then Washington with those 2 long passes to Moss. They win it. They miss out at Oakland. They're inside the 10 with 5 seconds to play and run out of downs. The Giant game in overtime, the Seattle game, which they had in the bank, and then Bledsoe throws the ill-advised interception, and Seattle wins the game. And now tonight, 2nd down and 10 at the 30-yard line.
John Runyon jumped the right tackle, but isn't that something? I mean, the Eagles have really dominated this game for 56 minutes.
69, offense, 5-yard penalty, main 2nd down.
John, we go back to that Week 2 game. We're in Dallas. Cowboys have it. No problem. It's only 13-0 for most of the game, but Washington's not going to get back into the game.
You know, that's one of those things. I think when you're dominating, you have to keep scoring points. I mean, you can't settle to punt. You can't settle for a field goal. You can't settle for them yelling shovel pass, know the play is coming and stopping you. As you look back at some of those plays, those are big, big plays for the Cowboys defense in this game.
2nd and 15 at the 25-yard line. And again, you have one of these situations as the pass is too high for Greg Lewis. People go to bed early and they wake up and they say, what the hell happened on Monday night? Don't touch that dial.
Yeah, McNabb is really hurting, you know, and he can't torque now, and to throw the ball, you have to be able to torque. You have to be able to, you know, twist your hips and your shoulders, and you know, and shift your weight, and that is really hurting him to do those things right now.
3rd and 15 before this disbelieving crowd. And McNabb is going to lose the ball, and it's a live ball, and Philadelphia will retain possession. Greg Ellis was able to extract it from the grasp of McNabb, and now McNabb loses the ball. Philly has it, and Donovan's going to have to come limping off the field again. And now with the clock ticking down to the 2-minute warning, and it's 4th down and 19, they send the punting group out, but the clock goes to the 2-minute warning. Philadelphia only has 2 timeouts. They're going to take it. They should have taken a timeout on the front side of this to save them a few extra seconds, and now they're in the most precarious of positions, especially if they kick. 2 minutes to go, and the Cowboys trying to pull one out of a hat. Great rivalry through the years, whether it's Monday or Sunday or what have you, and there is McNabb bent over on the bench. The Eagles are going to punt on 4th and 19, as opposed to McNabb can't come back in at this point. He's hurting too much. And instead of going with Detmer or McMahon, ice cold off the bench, they'll take their chances stopping him defensively, try to give Donovan a little extra time. And that kick will roll to a halt at the 27-yard line with 1:49 and 2 stoppages of the clock for Philadelphia. 52-yard punt.
Remember that 3rd down play where the Eagles had the ball down there in the goal line, and I said I could hear someone yell, shovel, watch the shovel. Listen to it. It was Dat Wynn, and he yelled, shovel, watch the shovel, and they ran the shovel right into him and had to settle for a field goal.
And that is a huge play, as Dallas now gives the ball to Barber. Philadelphia will stop the clock. How big was that play? It was 3rd down and goal with about 10 minutes to go. It was a 10-point game. So if you get the touchdown instead of the field goal, that's a 3-possession game. But Dallas was able to keep it because Wynn alerted them to the shovel to a 2-possession game, and Dallas gets the 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and then Dallas went to their hurry up at 4 minutes, and you know they ran that great drive to get down there, and Terry Glenn, you know, their playmaker, they finally got to him. They got the touchdown, and then of course Roy Williams and that interception and that big play and that block at the end there, and Donovan McNabb was Brady James. I thought it was Scott Shanley, but it was Brady James. I saw this next replay that blocked Donovan McNabb. You know, and then as you look at McNabb now, Al, I don't know if he can play next week.
I agree.
Or the week after that, or the week after that. I mean, we said earlier at some point he's going to have surgery, and you wonder if maybe that point may be sooner.
And this is, John, a short week as well, because it's Monday night, they're playing Sunday, and they're playing at the Meadowlands against the Giants. Now you've got Barber. Now Philadelphia will take its last timeout. So 1:39 remaining. No more timeouts. A first down would end the game in effect. Monday Night Football being brought to you by Nissan, inviting you to shift away. You move through the world by New Campbell's Chunky Fajita Soups, hearty soups that fill you up right. And the City Simplicity Credit Card. City, live richly. Aerial coverage tonight as you look at downtown Philadelphia, brought to you by Budweiser Select. Now about 8 miles to the south down Broad Street, where everybody was very confident Eagles seem to have things well in hand, and all of a sudden, instead of 5-4, you're looking at 4-5. You're looking at 2 games behind Dallas, but in effect 3 because you will have lost both games in the season series.
And you're looking at a quarterback that you wonder how much longer he can go with that sports hernia.
3rd down and 7. Philly's only opportunity is to stop him here and get the ball back and try to set up an Akers field goal. This is Barber, and they do stop him. He holds onto the ball. They try to create a fumble but couldn't. It's Jeremiah Trotter. Now Dallas will take all of the time they can off the play clock and then punt. And then Philadelphia has to see if they can get into position for an Akers field goal. This is almost a fumble.
Yeah, he does
it is
fumble.
A fumble.
The ball is out of there. I mean, the good news is that he got it back. It went out, and then as he was falling down, he fell down and it went between his legs, and then he brought it back up in there. But there will be a clock stoppage to change of possession.
We're under a minute now. The play clock is down to 5. McBriar gets the kick away. Decent distance, fielded by Brian Westbrook from the 12, and Westbrook brings it back out to the 35-yard line. So you've got 46 seconds. You have no timeouts after a 52-yard kick and a 23-yard return, and your quarterback will be McMahon. Mike McMahon, the former Detroit Lion, who went to school at Rutgers, signed as a free agent. He was the number 3 quarterback coming into the game, the emergency quarterback. Well, this is a 911 call for Philadelphia right here, maybe for their whole season.
The only reason I can think of Mike McMahon instead of Coy Detmer is McMahon has a stronger arm and he can run. McMahon is a good runner.
And again, you need maybe 25 or 30 yards to give Akers a chance. And McMahon trying to be the hero. And he'll start here with a 1st down, but the clock continues to run. And let's see where they're going to give him forward progress to. The officials are going to bring the ball back. They haven't even moved the chains yet, and they say not enough for a first. It's 2nd down and inches, and he's going to spike the ball with 29 seconds.
But he has a real arm. I mean, he has a lively arm, and again, he can run with the ball. So I think that's probably what Andy Reid is looking for here. I remember one day I saw him in preseason in Detroit, and he really looked like he was going to be something special.
Now in a journeyman role, but a chance to be a major hero. 3rd down and 1. Rolling to his right, throwing. That's caught. That's a 1st down, and that'll stop the clock. Billy McMullen makes the catch. So the ball will be spotted at the 49-yard line of the Eagles. 26 seconds remaining. There is Akers. Remember, his range over 50.
David Akers, one of the best kickers in pro football. And they need another 1st down or 2 to get him in that range.
4-man rush. McMahon throwing, and that's going to be caught at the 20-yard line by Reggie Brown, the rookie. 18-yard line. Now they're going to say no. Brown came down with it initially. Everybody thought he had, and there is the reaction of McNabb. McMahon threw it right into the arms of the rookie, who appeared to come down with the ball and then couldn't hold on.
He ran a nice pass route there. He ran a stop and go, and then he had it in his hands, and as he was bringing it down, he just dropped it. But he ran a stop and go, and he got in pretty good position there to catch it. But the 2nd or 3rd one, he dropped tonight.
Everybody thought the crowd reacting, McNabb reacting. He wanted a spike on the next play, but instead it's an incomplete pass. And McMahon, to keep it alive, he's got to get out of bounds, and he does at about the 42-yard line. Now you have 9 seconds remaining. So if you attempted a field goal from this spot, you're looking at about a 60-yard attempt. The other option, run one play, but you got to get out of bounds.
I think that's the thing you do. I think you run one more play, but it has to be to the sidelines. Now the Cowboys, knowing that, they have to defend the sidelines. Don't let them get to the sidelines. Play everything from outside in.
Nine seconds. the outside he goes, and that is broken up, intended for Brown, and it is broken up with 4 seconds. So, in effect, one play barring a defensive foul remaining in the game, and they're going to bring Akers out to attempt what will have to be about a 61-yard field goal.
That's what they had to do when the ball was incomplete. They had to take a shot at the field goal here.
The NFL record, Jason Elam and Tom Dempsey each have kicked 63-yard field goals. So this one's going to be spotted at the 50. It's going to be officially a 60-yard kick, but Dallas is going to take a timeout.
Andy Reid doesn't need the headset nor the glasses anymore. This is one play. This is something you coach through training camp and all season, and you go through all the trials and tribulations they go through, and then it gets down to your kicker kicking a long one or not.
I'm wondering at this point, do you attempt a 60-yarder? Remember, your holder is a quarterback, Coy Detmer, or do you just have Detmer get up and try to sling it downfield and hope for maybe a pass interference call or something that enables you to, you can't get in closer field goal range. This is going to be the end of the game, but at least an opportunity to extend the game.
I would think it would depend on how Akers kicked in the pregame warm-up. If you feel that he has it in his leg or close to that, you let him kick it.
A 60-yard attempt to win the game, and the kick is going to be well short, and that's the way it will end. And for Bill Parcells, think he gets up, he drives to bury his brother at 7 o'clock in the morning, comes back here, his team appears headed for a defeat, a big loss, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the Dallas Cowboys, who played some amazing games this year with spectacular and fantastic finishes on both sides. The agony and the ecstasy that they've gone through 9 games. McNabb goes hobbling off. Philadelphia goes to New York. Dallas goes home with a record of 6-3. It's their first of 3 games in 11 days. They'll meet Detroit on Sunday and then Denver on Thanksgiving, and that's the way it winds up in Philadelphia. Autotrader.com postgame show coming up after the Cowboys shock the Eagles.